Hey, African American literature students. This is the welcome to the reboot of our class. That was Mavis. She's not happy to be here. We're all getting used to things. But I hope this video finds you well, not too anxious or stressed out about the changes that we're going to be having to make for the rest of the semester. You've probably heard right now that we won't be returning to campus. I'm really sad about that. I'm going to miss you. But I will get to see you on D2L, which is good. So I just wanted to review with you what you can expect for the next 8 weeks. So I'm going to show you a document that I'm posting on announcements. Some of this you've already seen. Okay, so here we are in our D2L homepage, and you'll see this announcement, welcome to the reboot, and I've posted the revised course plan here. I'm going to open it up, and I just want to review a few things with you about what you can expect, okay? So first of all, some of this you've seen on D2L already if you've been reading the announcements over the last week. I really do want to emphasize that the most important thing is that you keep yourself and your families and your communities safe by social distancing as much as you possibly can and washing your hands frequently, but also just taking good care of yourselves. I want to make the best out of the situation. I know that you're already familiar with how our online class is going to work because we've already done online discussions through D2L before. So my goals are quality, flexibility, and availability. First of all, quality. I want to make sure that we keep having fun and interesting discussions. We're going to keep reading really great stuff. So we're going to focus on the literature and we'll discuss it along the way to increase our understanding of it. Flexibility. I want to make sure to provide reasonable flexibility for when you do the work each week. So because I understand that your schedules may have gotten complicated, I will not be expecting you all to show up at the same time on Mondays and Wednesdays. Our class will be asynchronous. So what that means is you still have deadlines to meet, but the deadlines will be 11:59 p.m. rather than 11 a.m. And you can do the work for the course whenever you can during the day instead of 11 to 12:15. I also want to make sure I'm available to you. So I'll be really glued to my computer most days, checking your emails and communicating with you. I'm also experimenting with Google Chat, so if you want to try to reach me that way, feel free. All right, so tips for success. I've taught online before, so I just want to give you some tips that I've given my previous online students. Sometimes online classes can feel like less work because you don't have to go to a classroom a couple times a week, but it's going to be really important that you set a schedule and establish a routine so that you remember to do both of your the homework that you are assigned and also the classwork that we would be spending 2.5 hours a week doing together. So make time for that, and if you can set a schedule for when during the week you want to get that done, that'd be great. Set aside a few days a week to work on that. Be in touch, as I've mentioned before. Any confusion or concerns that you have, make sure you reach out to me. If they're general questions, you could also post them in discussions, and maybe that will help other people get answers too. Check into D2L frequently. I will post regular updates on D2L announcements. If we have to change the schedule or if I have to make clarifications or anything like that, that'll be posted on D2L. And as usual, the reading guides should be a help to you as you do the reading. If you ever see a question on the reading guide that you're not sure how to answer, make sure you ask about that. All right, changes to expect. Instead of giving mini lectures at the beginning of some classes on literary movements and so on, I'll provide a few short videos like this one for you to watch and you can take notes on. I'll also be sharing a lot of my ideas in our discussions. Remember that D2L discussions will take the place of our class discussions, so that's where I'll be doing a lot of contributing with my own thoughts as I reply to you and as I occasionally post takeaway posts with some big things I want you to keep in mind. As for written assignments, And when I last saw you, I got your outlines for the read-in and your annotated works cited lists on paper. That's going to be hard for me to return to you now. So if you could please submit your documents on D2L, both the outline and the annotated works cited list that you revised, then I can give you feedback online as well. The in-class writings, I'm going to talk about more in a minute, but those are going to continue to be a really important part of the class. I am adding a few, but I'm still keeping the requirement that you only need to do 10. So you can miss a few, you can make up for a few lost points, you can have ample opportunities to get to those 200 points that are allotted for that section. I'll talk about discussions more on the next page, but please devote some time to reading this over as well. I'll continue to post reading guides online, and the second exam in a few weeks will be open book. You'll have 75 minutes to complete it via the quiz function on D2L. I'll give you a study guide and more details later. I'm also going to make the Song of Solomon assignment different. Previously, there was going to be a journal option, and that would just take too much time. It's too time consuming for you. So I'll change that and keep you updated. And the final exam will still consist of a take-home essay and a small short answer part. But obviously, both sections will be on your own. The short answer part will be on D2L quizzes. But we'll still keep up with the schedule for that. That's the college's schedule that we should abide by. And of course, this is an ever-changing situation. All announcements or all changes will be announced on D2L, as I mentioned. All right, so page 3 of this document focuses on discussions. And I want to again emphasize that these are going to play a big part in what we do now from now on, because they're going to count both as your in-class writings, and they'll also substitute for the discussions that we would normally be having sitting down together in a classroom. So these really will be the heart and the center of our new class here. I'm happy about this. I mean, I'm going to miss seeing you. I don't think there's anything that quite completely replaces a classroom discussion, but these discussion boards will be a good way to interact nevertheless. And I'm always eager to hear what you think about the literature that we've read. So I'm looking forward to learning from you, from your observations. So with this in mind, for most of our scheduled class days, there will be 2 posts that you should make, totaling 20 points. The big one is the first post that you make, due at 11:59 p.m. on the class day. So, for example, on Monday, we're reading 2 stories by Zora Neale Hurston. So that night, by 11:59 p.m., I'd like you to give us a post. At least 125 words that tell us your thoughts and observations about one of the stories. You can pick which story you want to respond to. You can use the reading guides for inspiration. Whenever possible, as always, you should use specific details and examples to help readers understand where you're coming from. These are open book. I want to emphasize that these will always be open book from now on. So you can use quotations if that helps you to support your points. Just don't let the quotations take up most of your space. Most of the words should be yours. 125 words at least, a little shorter than the last couple posts you had to make. And don't worry about grammar or spelling as long as you're understandable. You can be more relaxed in these posts. You don't have to worry about sounding academic as long as you're clear. And try to have fun with this. By the way, you don't always have to sound like you know everything. You can admit where you're confused and where we can work together to try to figure something out. And then the second part is the remaining 5 points, 1 response to a classmate. Previously, I asked you to write 2 responses to a classmate. I'm going to just narrow that down to 1, although if you can respond more, that would be wonderful. I'm just trying to be realistic about your time here. So try to write at least 50 words or so in response to a classmate. You can agree and offer an addition. You can disagree and explain why. You can engage in any other way with the writer's ideas. Above and beyond that, I absolutely encourage you to post more if you can, so that we can have a robust discussion and get the most out of the literature. And then finally, this is the part where we've struggled as a class in our previous experiences with D2L discussions. Don't forget to read what everybody else posts. This is kind of the entire point. This is the equivalent of listening when we have classroom discussions. Many of my big takeaways that I want you to know about the text will be in these discussions. You'll need to read those and read each other's posts. So plan on taking time for that, just like you would take time for it in a classroom. I hope that's clear. Let me know if you have any questions about that assignment. And the rest of this document is the newly updated schedule. So what I tried to do for each day is let you know what will be due at 11:59 p.m. Remember, these are always due at 11:59 p.m. instead of 11 a.m. So for Monday, read the 2 stories and complete an in-class writing set. This would be in-class writing 7 on the discussions. Don't forget to come back the next day sometime and reply to a classmate. Come back and read everything. And then that will be our wrap up of the Harlem Renaissance period. On Wednesday, we'll be moving on to the next period, Realism, Naturalism, and Modernism, the mid-20th century. We will be focusing really just on 2 major texts from that time period. I've had to make some painful cuts. So we'll focus on Wednesday on James Baldwin's story, Sonny's Blues, one of my favorite stories ever. It's just beautifully written. The reading guide is available for you. And then I want you to also read the following week, Lorraine Hansberry's really groundbreaking play, A Raisin in the Sun. After that, we'll have an exam. I'll give you a study guide. You'll know what to expect. And then we're going to dive into contemporary literature with Toni Morrison and Song of Solomon. So I hope you were able to get a copy of that novel. You might be able to order it at Bookies in Homewood. I'm not sure what's going on with Amazon delivery right now. So I hope you've been able to find it. So that's it. The rest of the semester is described below in as much detail as I can give you right now. So that's what I know. Over on D2L, here's our homepage. Here's where announcements will be posted. Don't forget that if you want to participate in a couple of extra discussions, I've posted a couple of general things here so that we can share ideas and check in. I really am eager to hear how everybody's doing. I kind of miss you all. And then the Zora Neale Hurston Forum is already set up for you. I'll get the other one set up too. So don't forget to email me when you have questions. Don't forget to take care of yourselves. If you run into any problems at all and there's any way that I can help you or connect you to somebody else at the college who can help you, make sure you let me know that. All right? I'll see you in the discussions. Take care. Bye-bye.